Drusilla is such a healthy child. I think you can tell by the story that has been told. I mean, if a child is autistic and is benefiting so much, then we should be thankful that mothers like her are coming out to be there for their children and have managed to create an impact in them. Well, as I told you earlier on, this month is the Autism Awareness Month. If you know anyone who has a child with autism, please do inform them, let them get this information out there, and please spread word about autism. I think society really needs to know. I know there are children out there who have autism and they are not even aware that that's what they are going through. So let's spread the word about it, and please do not forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, that's DT in Uganda, and of course hit the notification bell. Follow us on our social media platforms, that's DT in Uganda, on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and also comment and tell us what you think about our content. Of course, our Facebook page, I know we are uploading this video also there. Feel free to get back to us about what you thought about the episode. We would love to hear feedback from you, and we would want to know what do you think is left out and what do you think we can do to improve it. So what was the process at that particular point?
The gentleman had to hold the girl, like her holding her on the hand, and told me and the maid, you move. So we moved a few minutes, like a few seconds, like on that door. Then the girl was like, yeah, she made a sound and she said, Inta.
At that specific point, had she ever made a sound when she was younger?
No. She had never. So I turned so quickly, I was like, what have you given her? Said, no, nothing. I had to hold her. So I told you guys to move. I wanted to hear if she can react. So immediately she said, Inta. Then I turned. I was like, what have you given her? The guy was like, no, I already know her problem. Okay. So he wrote for us something and he sent us to Ward A1, Speech and Language Therapy in Lago. So when we went there, they told me to do a CT scan of the brain. I went, I did it at Imaging Center, Nakasero. Then I brought the report. Then speech and language therapy ward. There were white doctors, and they had to tell me, your daughter has a problem. I was like, what problem? They told me, before we tell you the problem, we are going to read something from this book. They brought a big book. So when they counted on the book, they were like, everything we read here, you tell us if this girl does it. I was like, it's okay. They started, does she tiptoe? I said, yes. Does she cover her ears? Yes. Does she examine food by smelling? I said, yes. Everything they read in the book, the girl was doing it.
Oh my God. Now, what was going through your mind?
No, when they said, when I saw everything, they read, she does it. So I was like, it's okay, I'm happy now, there's medication for it.
Okay.
So I expected her to talk the next day.
Yes.
Yeah. So they told me there's no medication. The worst part was there's no medication for this condition.
It must have made you upset, I'm sure.
So I was like, no medication for this condition? You're saying it's a condition? We're in hospital, we're supposed to get medication. And this white doctor brings a very big book, you go and read. It's called Autism.
He gave it to you?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I was like, if I read this book, will my daughter start talking tomorrow? Because I was already tired. People have wasted a lot of money, and now you're giving me a book, how will my daughter get it?
True.
Yeah. So later she told me, no, I want you to be calm and accept. What I'm going to tell you, the only medication for this girl, you have to accept your daughter, you have to understand her, and you have to love her. And most important, pray for her always. Wow. Since then, that was my breakthrough.
That's all. So at that point, that's all you started doing, taking care of her.
Taking care of her. I accepted whenever she would fight, I want to know why is she fighting. Because I read those books. In fact, my first job, I lost my first job. Because every time I would be Googling, what is autism, what is autism? And being a hotelier in front office, whenever I come like a white, I ask you, have you ever heard about autism? So I went to see those people out, they know about it. Just for us in Uganda, we don't know. So I just became stronger like that.
Okay.
One, slowly, until I had to stand out and support her.
Now, when you started doing those activities for her, like the doctor had recommended and the book that helped you, did you notice a change in her?
Yeah, she has changed a lot, because the moment you understand these kids, the way they told me, because these 3 concepts for autism, you have to accept, understand, and love. If you accept your child the way she is, everything will be okay. There's no way you can deny her the way the dad denied her.
Sure.
Because if you accept her, she's your child, she's going nowhere. Yeah. But if you understand, because there's a way they communicate if they want something. There's a way they fight or they do what. And some don't do actions like, but for Drusilla right now, she shows you, she shows you there. There. Okay. So you're like, she doesn't talk. But you don't know what she's saying until you tell, because they hear. They hear, but they don't talk.
Okay.
Yeah, that is the problem.
Then at what point, at what age was she when she finally started changing?
In fact, when I took her to school, the first school I took her, these people didn't know about her condition.
It was like an ordinary school where every child goes to?
Yeah, these doctors told me, take her to a normal school. So I had to talk to the head teacher. I took her there. But whenever they would bring her for lunch, I see she's swollen in the back, bathing her. So it was like, one neighbor told me, the daughter of my neighbor, Drusilla yaganyo tula wamune bamukuba. So, and that's when I went back to see on her back, I saw there were fingers, they beat her. Because they don't concentrate, they keep walking here and there. I think you've seen them.
Yes, I've seen
them. They don't sit in one place. Yeah. So I went back to school and I told the lady told me, first we are professionals. So I went back to Mulago. When I told them, they told me, those doctors, it's you who understands your daughter. It should start with you. So I told them, what should I do? Won't the girl go to school? Because I'm working, I have to pay school fees. They told me, no, first wait until you get a better school.
Okay. Yeah. Then, so did you sit down? Did you leave Drusilla to stay home? Or?
I first left her home like for 6 months. That's when I saw one school in Entebbe, because I was working with Imperial Hotels in Entebbe. So they told me to go to that school. When I went there, I saw they were mixing normal kids and these autistic kids. So autistic kids would go at the gate and they would put them like in a cage. So I looked at them and I was like, my girl, to be like a dog, no. I said no. So until I saw one teacher who was teaching in that school, she was coming from Kampala, and that is Dorothy Lambi.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So I talked to her. When I talked to her, she told me, in a few months I'll be opening up a school. And I want to take care of the kids who stay in Kampala. Because these people wanted kids to go there daytime, but not boarding section. And for us people, we have to work. Yeah.
So that's the point when you took her to
Donor Center.
Donor Center.
Yes.
So when she went to Donor Center, did you see an improvement in her?
Yeah, to Donor Center. In fact, you know, as a mother, you first get touched and you don't want your daughter to go away.
Yes.
I wouldn't
You're
sleep.
too connected to her.
Yeah.
I get that feeling.
I wouldn't sleep. Because every time I would like, in a week I would go there like 2 times to pick her, but I saw it was so hectic until I got used to the place. Right now, you see, I just even give a call and talk to her, but whenever I feel I miss her, my visitation is anytime, though this coronavirus.
I know.
Yeah. Whenever I miss her, even in a week, I can go there 3 times.
Wow, that's so much love.
Yeah, I love her.
So she's still there up to now?
Yeah, she's there. In fact, she has improved a lot. Drusilla used not to sleep at night.
Okay.
She used not to eat different foods. But the school has helped me a lot. She can clean the house. She loves cleaning, washing, anything with water, she'll do it. You give her this room, she'll clean every corner.
And she learned all that when she went to Donor Center?
From school, yeah.
Wow.
But she doesn't love cooking. But she loves eating.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow, that's a great improvement.
Yeah, she used not to sleep. At night, first we would sleep, we leave her watch TV until morning. She'd sleep during day, but for only 2 hours.
Yeah.
So until I asked about it, they told me it's a brain disorder.
Oh.
Yeah.
It's a brain disorder when
Yes.
it comes to sleeping.
Yeah, no, autism.
It
affects the
It
brain.
affects.
Yeah.
And then it changes your sleeping hours.
Some it changes, some don't sleep. Yeah, and it depends on the diet. These kids are supposed to eat like greens. Like my daughter Drusilla eats katunkuma. Me, I don't eat katunkuma.
Healthy child.
Yeah, for her she eats raw ones. I either give her popcorns or katunkuma. She'll eat. She doesn't take soda. She doesn't, because we are not supposed to give them like fats. We are not supposed to give them wheat, because all those make them to be hyper.
Oh,
Yeah.
it makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
Man, those children are healthy when it comes to things of eating. They have a healthy eating style. We got to know about Drusilla so much, but now I want to know about the mother being a caretaker. Would want to know how she has managed to handle it. You know, it's not something easy, so I wanted to hear from her. Now, we're still talking. When it came to, you talked about so much about Drusilla, the education, the hardships you had when it came to educating Drusilla. So I wanted you to tell us, you know, educating an autistic child is not easy. First of all, she's going to a school with special needs. I'm believing children who go to schools with special needs pay a higher tuition fee or school fees than children who go to normal schools. How have you managed to cope up with that?
In fact, Drusilla, I must say Drusilla is a blessing. Her herself, she's a blessing. Because her school is expensive, not that much expensive, though most schools I tried were very expensive. They start with 3 million and above. So with her school, yes, we pay 1.5. I was paying, as a hotelian, you know, our paying is little.
Yeah, that's true.
If it is much, they will give you 700. So you have to cater for the home and you cater for her also. And I needed a good future for her. Since she's autistic, because the way they told me you have to accept her and understand her. So I had to see that I do the best for her. So her school, I used to pay installments. Okay. 200, 100, sometimes 50,000. So the stronger I came sharing my story.
Used to share like on Facebook or
like
on social media platforms?
Yeah, on social media, like Facebook, my page. In fact, the first people saw me on Facebook. Most people saw me on Facebook talk about autism.
Okay.
Yeah. So they didn't know, because I wanted to know more about autism. So I kept on Googling, knowing about autism. I share whenever she does something new, I put it there. But when she does something new, I put it there.
And so, didn't you know, people, when it comes to social media, they tend to feel like they don't want to expose their private life onto social media. You seem to be comfortable with it.
No, me, I'm very okay, because I don't go to social media like to do business. In fact, I got interested in social media because of Drusilla and because of autism. Because I live autism. It's in my house. It's 24/7 and it is going nowhere because it has no cure.
Sure. Yeah. So tell us, you were explaining about how you managed to get help.
On getting help, it was when I almost lost my job, the first job. I love working.
Okay.
Being a single mom, I love working. So I love my kids so much. So I got a problem with my job. One time, I was insulted by my manager, immediate manager.
Why?
That's why we have to do awareness, create awareness and raise awareness, so that, because people don't know about autism.
Sure.
Most people think these kids are mad, so they insult us, they insult the disability behind it, so it's not really good. Okay. Yeah. So it was one time, I don't know if it is good to speak about that story, it was in 2016.
Okay.
Now 4 years. That's when I started getting sponsors for Drusilla.
Okay.
Yeah.
So ever since then, they have been taking
care of her.
So that when you're to range in percentages, how much percentage have they contributed towards her schooling?
Her schooling, it's 100%.
Wow.
And I thank God for that.
Wow, Drusilla is blessed. Eh?
Yeah,
She's a blessed.
Yeah, because the first person, I was insulted at job, and being on front office, you know, these people loved me and my customers loved me. So this immediate manager of mine had insulted me. I had not worked that day. I was sick. In fact, I'm not ashamed of talking about it because I know there are many people outside there who are going through that, being insulted at jobs, and they don't know why they are supposed, these parents come to work.
Yeah.
Some of us, we work because of our kids. So I had not worked, I was sick. I got a swollen neck. I didn't know what had happened to me. So the manager who was on duty told me, my smile, you know, when you know that I'm happy, you see my smile. So all clients would see my smile, but that day I wasn't myself. You have to answer calls, answer questions, answer answer these people who don't know English, foreigners, and you have to talk. I got a lot of headache, my eyes got red. So one client was like, what's wrong with you? I was like, I'm not feeling well. So my neck was swollen and I would turn like a robot.
Oh, I
So,
get you.
yeah, so there was a manager who told me, no, first go and get medication. But since I loved work, when I got antibiotics, I came back the next day to work. So this guy thought that I would sleep for 1 week. So I don't love sleeping home. So I came back to work. On coming to work the next day, I found a different manager. So he was like, come to my office. I was like, what have I done? But I was strong because I knew I didn't work yesterday. I don't know what was happening. So the guy started off insulting me. You stupid woman, useless woman. On top of that, he went beyond and he was like, you being with that disabled kid is none of my business. I think that was my journey loving autism. Because the way I love my daughter and where I started from, and she was the reason why I have to work. So I got so pissed, and coming back on my desk, everybody would come like a client. They want to see my smile, but I would cry. There was a client, she was working with one NGO, she was a director, and she asked me, what's wrong with you? I broke down and cried, and she went to her apartment and she called me again and she was like, can you tell me? Don't come to me because I know you will cry. Just write down what has happened to you. And I told them I was insulted. What is it? I told them the story. I was insulted, my daughter, about that. My manager said, you being with that disabled kid is none of our business. And she asked me why, that because I didn't ask for money, some apartment, and I wasn't around, I was sick, I was home. So it was like, but that was something which was reasonable, and you guys would understand each other. So it disturbed me a lot. In fact, it took like a year.
So would you say that moment that you went through was the most depressing moment?
It was the worst, and I will never forget it.
So now I'm imagining, you're not telling your child being disabled and saying all those things out of ignorance.
Yeah.
How did you manage to get through that situation? Because today you're happy. I can clearly see you're very happy today.
The more I keep talking my story, I get stronger. Because I wouldn't even talk like this. I would even break down. Every minute I would remember that situation, I'd break down.
But at that specific point when it had just happened, when you said you were depressed for about a year, right?
Yeah, because I had to leave job. So I left job because I didn't want, but I was forced to. Because I would cry every time I come on shift. I cry every time. Whenever I would see him pass, I remember my disabled kid and all the insults. I was like, it wasn't my fault to get sick. And why include my daughter? Because my daughter doesn't work here. She's the reason why I have to work. So, and I have to work for her, to support her. The dad rejected her, and now job also.
Yeah.
So it was too much for me. So lucky enough, this white was like, it's okay. Don't talk much. I'll see what I can do for you. After 1 week, she told me, my sister said, I told her your story. She'll take care of your daughter for 2 years.
Wow.
So she started, I said, how taking care how? Because me, I thought maybe they want to take, I told them, no, you're not taking my daughter. So they said, no, we'll pay school fees for 2 years.
Okay. And that's how they took care of her.
I would just bring the school, they sign and they pay dollars, and
Now, at that specific point, was Drusilla having a therapist? Because
No, by the way, Drusilla, that's why I told you these kids are difficult to understand. Sometimes I'm like, when I look at her, there are some things which she does. She speaks, she does things whenever you want to tell her, do this, she has already done it. Autistic kids are very intelligent.
So
you'll never understand them.
Okay. So you saw no need to...
I didn't use any therapist. In fact, I think because when you hear every parent has a different story.
Okay.
But when you follow what they tell you, you can handle these children properly and know what they can do, and they do everything in the right way.
You've said in your statement, it's not your fault that you fell sick.
Yeah.
Do you believe that there is something that happened that caused Drusilla to have autism that you can say it was my fault?
Yeah, because in fact this would be the first question. I was going for work. It was a night shift. I fell down with a border, but I got an accident.
How many months were you by then?
It was 6 months. I bled for 2 weeks, and Drusilla was born a premature.
At
6 months.
At 6 months.
She was very small, tiny, 1.4 kg, and normal birth should be 2.5. Because you would see then the intestines in the stomach. Yeah.
Okay.
So I bled for 2 weeks. I didn't have any pain, so I had worked night. When I went home, I felt a sharp pain, and you know, pregnant women, they tell you don't take any Panadol, don't take anything before the doctor tells you. So it was like, okay. When I went to a clinic, when I reached the clinic, blood was just flowing. And the doctor was like, but I see you're pregnant and you're bleeding, what's wrong? And the thing came sharp, and I just got it down and it came out.
So she just came out in the sack?
It was a sack, and they cut it, and she cried. But the thing was very tiny, like a rat. So I thought maybe it was going even to die.
Yeah.
So I just looked at it. I was so confused. I got an accident, and she was born a premature. But right now she's a survivor.
Makes sense why you blame yourself.
Yeah, I blame myself on that. Though these border guys, I really don't know.
Would you say that the border guy was partly to blame?
No. Yeah, the border that passed in front of us, because we knocked it and we fell. Yeah.
Okay. So fast forward, you've talked about transport, and you got me thinking. Now, the Drusilla, now transportation, moving with her. The mere fact that she's not okay, how are you able to move around town with her?
Drusilla, I move with her. In fact, one time, it was in 2017, that's when I used to post her so much on Facebook. So some lady saw her when, you know, they're affected with the noise. She's always closing her ears. Yeah, her ears. So the sensor is high. The way we are talking, for her, she hears we are talking louder. Yeah. So the lady sent me ear defenders to help her with the noise.
Okay.
So they calm her down. Now I can move with her in town, unless if she wants something and you refuse, that's when you'll see the autism out of her.
When you say the autism out of her, what do you mean?
Like when she wants border, she will sit down. When you say we have to move, we have to walk, that's when you will start, she will hold you and she fights, and she uses this, like squeezing you, or she can push you and you can even fall the other side. And
even when you're in public?
Yeah.
Then how do you handle her that specific?
No, you just have to understand her. If she wants something and you speak to her, she will understand.
Okay.
Border right now, no, we have to move. It's just a small distance. Because these kids understand. They understand.
So what means of transport have been favorable for her as Drusilla, and she feels this is what I want to use?
Border. She hates traffic jam.
Oh, and yes, taxis have a lot of that. That's true.
Because when we go in a taxi and we find jam, she'll start. Then I'll know now autism is going to come out.
Yeah.
She will just hold the person in front and squeeze. So people start, omwana mulalu, omwana, things like that. So you have to explain, no, simulalu.
Okay. Then the caretakers, you've talked a lot about how you've supported her, you've talked about the schools. So friends and family, have they been supportive during this journey?
No.
No.
family.
Right from the time when she was born?
Since
they
she
weren't
was born,
supportive, like supporting you like financially or maybe taking turns in taking care of
no
her?
one.
Oh my God.
I had to carry my cross.
And what was their reason?
No, these people don't know. I don't blame them. No one knows. No one is aware of autism. Unless you live it. If you live it, you'll know what it is. But no one understands it. Unless if you live it. Even these doctors alone, they don't know. They get information from us parents. Yeah. Because I tell you how she is, then you'll start writing and you do your research.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they don't know. That's why we need to do a lot of awareness, sensitization.
I agree.
People don't know.
Yeah.
People don't know. We still have a lot to do. And if we have like parents like me who can come out and talk, I think we'll help many. That's why I feel happy when I share my story. I know there are some people out there, they will say, I inspire people, many parents. And I've been doing some outreaches and most of them are single mothers. Some are like, they blame them.
Yeah.
The
like
men blame them.
Mm.
They say the problem is from you, the woman, because it's you who carried that thing. So they may say maybe you took family planning. They start putting witchcraft. They say these kids are cursed. They are cursed and everything is on you, a woman.
Now, even the father of Drusilla never bothered to come back because she's 15.
Now she's 15. By the way, for a surprise, he called me last month. She's 15.
To call him like to check on his daughter?
I don't know, man. He was asking, how are you? I said, you're supposed to ask me, how's your daughter?
Sure.
Because I've been doing many interviews, and I did one interview with NBS, and they asked me, why don't you call him and tell him that your daughter is okay? I'm like, doesn't he know that we gave birth?
Sure. He should have his own kind of responsibility already existing.
Because he knows he has a kid. Because I can't call him and remind him that we have a daughter. No. He knows. They know, but they don't want. So I don't know how we can do that. And for the government, I think the government still has a lot to do, especially to help those parents who have these kids, because we have to do the awareness and we have to move, not only in Kampala, worldwide.
Yes.
Yeah, because if me in Kampala can come out and talk, what about the person in the village?
Sure.
No. People are blamed and they have to know that they are not alone. We are many. We are many. So the more we come out and talk, we are helping other people.
Okay.
Yeah, and this government has to especially start supporting like these schools, organizations which have come out to take care of these kids. If they can support them with therapists and things they use at school, like some of them pay rent, because not everyone can manage that special needs school. Special needs schools are very expensive. They are not like these schools of ours.
Yeah, like the children in the slums, for them, where are they supposed to get that money from?
Yeah, it's a lot of money. In fact, when I got the first sponsor, she paid 2 years, from 2016 to 2019.
Yeah.
Then from 2019, again I got another sponsor. They just saw Drusilla on Facebook. And I've never met this lady, by the way. And she paid 2 years, 9 million.
Wow. That is so
Last
nice.
year and this year. So my work is to pick her and take her to school.
Okay. Now, you know, I've been thinking, when you talk about support, at that specific point you lost a job and all that, so currently, because now the sponsor is taking care of the child when it comes to school, but what about home when she comes home for holidays? How are you able to take care of those bills?
Yeah, for the bills, in fact, I'm just lucky because friends have helped me a lot, and my cousins, financially, my cousins have helped me, and friends, they've helped me a lot.
Yes,
Though I do this little like outreaches in some NGOs, I get some little money. But I know when she comes, at the time she comes, I've stopped what she wants, what she loves. She loves rice, super, because if you cook, which is not super, she'll smell on it. And she'll look at you, she'll put it there, and she'll look at you.
So she's attracted to the scent.
Everything she smells on. If she doesn't want, you give her bread without blue band,
refuse it?
She doesn't show you that she has refused. She'll go and you give her bread. She'll go to the kitchen and bring a butter knife, not even a knife which cuts matoke, peels matoke, no, a butter knife for bread and a plate and puts there and looks at you. So explain to her that Blue Band is not there at the shop.
And that's when she will call down.
No, you start explaining to her. Can you explain to her?
I can imagine. So what do? You go and you buy the Blue Band.
She just looks at you and she doesn't smile, she doesn't cry, she just looks at you. Meaning, where is the Blue Band? So you have to sort yourself and look for Blue Band. Or sugar. You can't give her tea without sugar.
Okay. And the neighborhood around her, have they understood her like at home?
In fact, at home, they've just started accepting her. At first, they used to chase her when they see her outside running. They chase her and she fears being beaten. When you bring a stick, she runs away. So there's a neighbor who used to disturb her. They want to beat her. They see her outside, they chase her and she runs away. So one time I saw her coming, running or reaching outside. They said, "Mwana huyo mulalu, huyo mulalu." Wow. So as a mother, I was like so pissed. We have nothing to do. We get pissed and you have to understand us by force. Because I told my neighbor, my autism is on my daughter.
Yes.
Because I told the boy, I'll beat you, I beat your dad, I beat your mom. Then you'll know the definition of autism.
So now you've gone through so much. It's not something easy. Have you got any professional help, like talking to a counselor, a therapist, some kind of person who can stand with you? Because it's a lot you've been through.
No, but I think I'm diverting from hotelier to social work.
Okay.
That's what I'm saying. Because since I got insulted from job, I got that confidence. The more I would come out and talk, I would break down and cry, but I became stronger slowly. Because the first confidence I got when I talked about my story and my career, I always present, I always do advocating, like volunteering at my daughter's school.
Okay.
Once there's some work, I just go there and talk. Because I love talking. So I talk, and the more I kept on talking, I went to Makerere University, I talked my story, and from nowhere, they gave me a scholarship to do a short course. So it was a trauma healer, because I had to break down, and I left everyone crying, and they were like, your story is so good.
So it was fully paid?
It was fully paid, 6 months, yeah. I did, it was from psychology, School of Psychology. I did psychology and mental disability and trauma healing. So I'm a trauma healer. Almost I'm a counselor.
So meaning it's like the course somehow helped you heal as a person?
Yeah, it did. Because even during that course, we would share, because he was a lady from America who was teaching us. Sometimes he would tell us, say something which has ever disturbed you. So I would talk about my story. So at the time I talk about it, I break down and cry. She'd say, it's okay, you cry, you'll be okay. That's how I came to here.
Okay. So now at this specific point we've heard from you and Drusilla, do you believe at this point where you are right now, we are safe to say that at least at 60% you're okay?
Me, I'm okay.
How about Drusilla?
Drusilla is okay with me because we understand each other.
Okay.
But sometimes I don't understand her, because there's when she sings some songs, I don't even really understand them. I have to call school. You hear what she's singing. What is she saying? Until her teacher talks to her. You see her coming down, going to the kitchen, doing this. Sometimes even I don't understand her. She does her things in her own way. She surprises me sometimes, but she has improved a lot.
Wow.
And if it wasn't school, I really don't know.
There's a lot of gratitude going out to school.
There's a lot.
Okay.
There's a lot, because I have to tell these parents, these kids are not supposed to be kept at home. We have to bring them out. And the moment you keep them in closure and you close them inside there, it's not good. It's like you losing a job and you stay in-house.
It doesn't solve anything.
Yeah, your brain sleeps. So what about an autistic kid? What will happen?
Okay. Now, you've kind of like entered into what I was going to tell you next. So I think you should just add on it. What would be your advice to parents out there who have autistic children, children out there who are autistic, what would be your overall advice to them before we even go to the public?
Parents, what I can tell parents, they should love their kids. Since I should share my experience, and I love sharing it because these doctors in speech and language therapy what told me, there are only 3 concepts. If you can follow them, you'll manage your kid. You have to love your kid as a parent, because no one will love your kid. It's you. It has to start with you. You have to understand your kid. If they start fighting, just understand why is she fighting? And you have to accept. It's you to accept. It's you who gave birth. Who will accept that kid? If you don't accept, do you think outside people will accept that kid? If you don't accept, it's you who's supposed to accept. And life will move on. Yeah.
Then, I guess you've had parents. I think we now know what to do. Then what about the public? What would be advice to them?
The public, that's why I was saying, these kids, we have a lot of discrimination outside there, especially in communities. But I don't blame them. People don't know. Yeah. They don't know.
They are ignorant about it. Yes.
Yeah, they don't know. That's why I'm saying we need to do a lot of awareness, to raise awareness, create awareness, sensitization. These people have to know what is autism. They don't know. I don't blame them. They have to know. If they know, then they'll know how to handle these kids. Because today it may be in my house, tomorrow it will be in your house.
Sure, that's true. You people, I think you're hearing, I don't have to repeat myself, you're getting the advice directly from a mother who has an autistic child. Now we have had a lot about Drusilla, you as a person. I think she has covered almost everything. Now, your last remarks. How can people reach you? Because I'm thinking people still have questions about, now my child is autistic, now this and this and this, how can I help out? So how best can they reach you?
Okay, anyone can reach me. My phones are always on. My WhatsApp is 0772 990048.
Okay.
0772 990048. Airtel is 0702 10 74 62. Facebook, I use Antonnate Nyangoma. Nyangoma, I'm a twin.
Oh, yeah, twin. Yeah. Is your twin around?
No, he passed on 4 years back.
Sorry about that.
No, it's fine. It's okay. I'm used to that. Then Twitter, I use Autism Mom Uganda.
Okay.
Yeah. Any question? I'm there. I'll answer. I'm free if you want me. I'm free, and I love it when I share my story. I love it when I meet someone whom I can help, and I love it when I explain like autism, about autism, and someone understands it.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. Thank you so much for coming through. It was really an amazing story, both the part 1 and the part 2 of autism. It was really amazing. Thank you so much. May things work out for you more than you expected. We really wish the best for you as Hidden Stigma. Well, my people, I guess you've heard what she had to say. If you're just watching this episode and you haven't seen the first part, it's very important to first go and watch the first part because she explained a lot when it comes to Drusilla. If you're doing a follow-up, I think we have learned a lot. Please feel free to leave a comment in the comment section just below and let us know what you think about the content we released. What are those questions you have? What are those suggestions that you think we can implement when it comes to our show? Of course, don't forget to follow us on our social media handles. That's DTN Uganda on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram. Don't forget to like, comment. Want to hear from you, by the way. Of course, subscribe to our YouTube channel. That's DTN Uganda, and leave a comment. Don't forget to hit the notification bell. And of course, Hidden Stigma has its own Facebook page. So feel free to reach us, follow us, like, comment on the posts that are out there, and of course you can inbox us if you have someone who you think should appear on the show. If you have any remarks, if you believe there is a kind of suggestion you want to suggest to us, feel free to reach out to us. Until next time, I want you guys to know your mental health is my wellness, and when it comes to autism, we all have to stand together and fight against this.